Coach's Corner is your source. Baseball, football, soccer, and hoops. The Coach's Corner has the scoop. It's the Coach's Corner with Andy.
Covering Tri-State sports, it's the Coach's Corner with Andy on 92.1 The GOAT.
It's the Coach's Corner.
Hey, I'm Andy with the Coach's Corner, and we have Shelby Wallace here. She is the Boonsboro volleyball coach over at Boonsboro High School. How's the Warriors doing?
Oh, we're doing awesome. We're having such a good time, playing for as long as we can to continue our season. We don't want to be done just yet, so we're doing really well right now.
We'll talk a little bit about your game coming up against South Carroll on Wednesday, and we'll get into your previous game as well. But I want to talk a little bit about you first and your coaching background. How long have you been coaching the Warriors over there at Boonsboro?
So this is my 8th season total, 7 as head coach. I'm only able to keep track of that because that's how many years I've been teaching. But prior to that, I had coached a little bit of travel in during my collegiate career, which was in like the West Virginia area. But I'm coming back home to Boonsboro High, where I graduated from, to coach. So yeah, this is year 7 as head coach.
Awesome. That's kind of cool. That's got to be special for you to actually have played for the Warriors and now you're coaching them. And you said you did a little bit of your college playing at Shepherd University.
Yes, so I graduated from Boonsboro High. I had already planned to go to Shepherd just because of the teaching program and those kinds of elements. And then I ended up trying out as a walk-on at Shepherd and being able to join their team for 3 years. And then upon graduation, came back to Washington County to teach, and then didn't want to leave the sport. So volunteered that first year back, and then after that assumed the head coach role.
Awesome. That's really cool. So if you don't mind me asking, what year did you graduate from Shepherd?
2017.
Okay, not long after me. I'm pretty sure. Oh man, I'm gonna date myself here. I think I was
Yeah.
2000. I think I was 2010. But
Okay.
I did HCC and then I transferred to Shepherd, so it was like a half and half thing.
Gotcha.
But yeah, not far off. Shepherd has a great volleyball program, a great school too. And it's close. That's why I chose it.
Yes, me too. And they're doing really well this season also, which is great.
Yeah. Your Boonsboro Warriors are doing awesome. You guys were 13-3 on the regular season. You're just coming off a win, a big game, a 5-set game against the Leopards, the Smithsburg Leopards, right?
Yes, correct.
And let's talk a little bit about that game. So what were your feelings going into that game, going up against a tough opponent like Smithsburg?
So for context, historically speaking, we always get to this point. It feels every season we're like, here we go again. So it was really exciting just with our performance earlier in the season, it being a 5-set match, to prepare and have time to prepare and practice for this match. It being on a Saturday too. We practice on Saturdays. So it was kind of like a stars aligning moment for us. We knew it was going to be difficult, and it certainly was. And there's a lot of game elements to consider, but it was a really exciting win for our program, for our athletes, our community, our parents, just because I think there was a little bit of anxiety going into that game. So to pull that out is huge for our program.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the volleyball coaches that I've talked to this past season in Washington County, they mentioned Boonsboro as being one of the teams to beat. And it seems like you guys are right up there with the rest of them, the highly ranked teams, Smithsburg being one of them. I wish I could have come out and seen it, but I heard it was really good. I was looking at the pictures on the Herald Mail, and man, some of those action shots are really cool. So just to give everybody a kind of a context of how the game was going, you guys were actually trailing 2-1 after 3 sets. And then you built a lead in that 4th set, and the Leopards came back to tie it up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you guys went on a 10-point tear. Larissa Blair, just to name, and Anna Jackson, I think they had like 3 kills in that set. And Anna had 2. You guys kind of climbed on the backs of those 2. Are those 2 seniors or?
Yes, they are both seniors. Yeah.
Okay. Are they 2 of your? Would you consider them 2 of the leaders of the team, or did you want to highlight some of your players or seniors that you have on the team?
So we have 7 seniors this year, and I would
Oh,
just say
wow.
all of them as a group are rock solid. You can rely on them. They perform when they need to. They lift us up when they need to. So I would highlight that whole group because they've all had their moments in and out of different games. And those 2 are a perfect example of this particular game. But yeah, we have a large senior class, 6 that have been together for a long time, 1 transferring in from Gretty, who has been a perfect part of the mix. So I'm going to highlight the whole group on this one because they are all fantastic.
That's awesome. So do most of your players that come up through the high school after coming through like the middle school feeder program, do a lot of them have a lot of them played like travel volleyball together? So are they familiar with each other, or do you have a lot of players that are unfamiliar with each other and they have to build that bond while they're on the high school team?
So it ranges every year. We have such a wonderful travel system in the really the tri-state area, but specifically Washington County. So I know that those athletes, they always go out in the travel season and try to compete at the highest level possible, which I fully support. Um, so they're kind of all over the place in terms of placement in the spring, but we start middle to the end of June all together. So we're together for a solid 2 to 3 months before we really have to compete. And I think they really do the work to make sure we're ready for that moment. They interact a lot outside of our program and the things we're doing together. So I would say coming up through the middle school program, which was led by Coach Wendy Smith, who is also a Boonsboro girl. She's been around for a long time. She coached me at the time.
Oh, cool.
So I think they understand the expectation of being teammates and making sure that we have solid culture coming in and out of clubs. So yeah, they do a really nice job with that.
Very awesome. So I know Smithsburg is one of Boonesboro's biggest rivals. How did you guys feel after you won that playoff game last week? And I have to know, did you guys go out and celebrate? Did you do anything cool afterwards as a team?
I won't say we necessarily did anything cool other than just enjoying the present. I was
Yeah.
driving home by myself, like, man, what am I going to do next? And one of the athletes passed me in their car, and there was 3 or 4 of them going somewhere, and I'm like, okay, whatever. They're having a good time.
Yeah.
But I think that we just had so much energy going into it that it kind of exploded at the end of the game, and it was just hugs, love, all love in the gym for our side at that moment. And directly after the game, I think we took a moment. Yay, we did it. What's next? Because that's very
Yeah.
much the mentality of the team, and they are very good about that. So
That was going to be my next question. I feel like a lot of you, just by reading up on the team, seeing your guys' awesome record, I was going to say I feel like you guys are like, what's next? Like on to the next game, on to the next. What are we doing at practice? How are we going to prepare? Which brings me to my next question. What have you done to prepare to go up against South Carroll coming up in your next game?
So we can only take so much from last season's win at South Carroll, which was challenging at the time. We really had to battle with them because programs changed. They had a coaching change, as far as I know. So we've looked at a little bit of film, used some of our resources from the travel season, who we know, what we know about them to prepare. But other than that, we're going to lean on our own preparation and the things we've been doing in practice to advance our game, speed up our game, manipulate the ball as much as we can. So I think it's going to come down to our season long preparation and just fine tuning some things on game night.
Very cool. So, I want to mention this as well because I find it kind of ironic that your last win was in 5 sets. Last year, the rematch you guys had, that was a 5 set win as well, correct? With South Carroll. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
hopefully you guys can get it three and out. That's what I'm hoping for you. But it sounds like your girls are ready for this for the any situation. They seem like they thrive on pressure, which most high school kids do. They enjoy that excitement. But
Mhm.
you guys are going for your first region championship since 2007. So it's been a minute since you had a region championship, and do you think this is the year?
I hope so. It's funny that you say 2007 because I graduated from Boonsboro in 2010. So it's
Hmm.
like, okay, this is even before my time now. People, let's go. I have
Yeah.
no historical reference to a jumping point here. So I'm very excited for them. They're very, like all of our athletes this year are very solutions based, very culture oriented. And so I think as long as we handle our business and continue to lean on each other in these moments, that we will be successful. And that's our goal, obviously.
So not to change the subject or anything, but just to let everybody out there know, because not a lot of people in the area are familiar with how a volleyball team is actually how the cogs turn, how the wheels turn for the team. Can you give us the positions that all your players have on the court? I know there's certain positions that are pretty vital to the team. Give us a little bit of a rundown of how each player is positioned on the court, how many's out there at a time, how you rotate your players.
Sure. So we have 6 individuals on the court at a time, with our libero being the sixth person who can kind of sub in and out in a different way than the others, gives us a little flexibility. Currently, we have 2 pin hitters that are on the court for a majority of the game. So they hit on the left side of the court. And then we have a right side hitting on the right side of the court, as well as a setter. So we at Boonsboro this year are running a 5-1 offense, meaning 5 available hitters and 1 setter. That setter is junior Allie Phillips. She's kind of running the show for us, and she's been doing a fantastic job at that. And then we have, sometimes we bring in different right sides. Sometimes we bring in different DSs just to kind of get a different mix. Sometimes we'll flip our hitters across the rotation just to get different matchups with the other team on the opposing side. And then we, of course, have our 2 middle blockers, and those individuals switch out with our libero. So there's
Now,
a lot of different options.
yeah, excuse my volleyball knowledge or lack thereof, I should say. But
Sure.
is the libero the one that wears like the different color shirt?
That's correct.
Okay,
So
okay.
in theory, we want, and there's a bunch of different coaching philosophies here, but in theory, you would want your best serve receive passer. So the individual receiving a majority of the passes off of a serve, that person who performs the best to be the libero. So we try to align ourselves with that philosophy,
Okay.
and so far that's worked for us. Yes, the orange
Got
jersey for us.
Gotcha. Yep, gotcha. Okay. I see that in pictures, and I just always thought that was like the captain or something like that, and they just had a different like shirt or I don't know. But now I know. So I'm assuming those positions can fluctuate and change based on your game plan, right?
Yes, I mean, we've been pretty consistent with our libero, number 17, Brianne Reed. She has been on the varsity team for 4 years now, kind of working towards that position. There are plenty of candidates for every position. It's just kind of how they all work best. And I will say kudos to our athletes because they are such good teammates that they allow the coaching staff to focus on winning, whatever that is, and they're all in for that goal. So they make it
That's
really easy.
that's awesome. Do any of your players have plans to play any college volleyball after high school?
So there are a couple that are kind of still in the mix, communicating with coaches, looking at school visits, looking at different programs and such. Currently, we only have one committed, which is number 11, Rosalind Briggs. She has committed to Division II Holy Family University as probably an outside hitter, which is what she does for us also. So her signing date's coming up in the next week or so. So she's super excited.
That's really cool. So how much of a part do you play in helping your girls, find schools after they graduate and get them in contact with those coaches in the college level? How much of that are you involved in?
So, as a travel coach, when I used to fill that role for the travel programs, I would do a lot of that, a lot of the networking, a lot of producing film, writing emails. We do less, I'd say, at the high school level because they're using a lot of that travel film to kind of get where they want to go, going to national tournaments and things like that. So I won't take too much credit for my part in that particular setup as a high school coach. So I am number one fan. That's that's
There
my
you
job
go.
in the fall. Good job, everybody. If an athlete were to request some assistance, of course, we would all step in. We have 5 wonderful coaches on our coaching staff to support. But I will say the athletes and our travel programs in the area do a lot of the heavy lifting there.
Okay, so does most of that film recording of those games come with those travel teams, or do you guys do any on the high school level?
So we have all of our games at the high school level available for athletes to work on highlights and just kind of keep their film fresh, if you
Yeah.
will. But if you're looking to pursue playing at the next level, I do find that the travel film is going to be a little bit more productive just because you're within your age group. You don't know, like, you don't have to guess as a collegiate coach who's on the court opposing you. It's a little bit more consistent. And it allows the collegiate coaches to travel more to see the athlete rather than being in their own season and not being able to get out. So
Yeah.
I would say that's why.
I know things have changed. Things have changed a little bit since I've been in high school. I graduated Williamsport in 2005. I didn't have any plans to play. I played soccer all 4 years. I didn't have any plans to play in college. But I had a lot of friends that were planning on moving up or other sports, and they wanted to play college. And it's changed so much. Now you have social media is a big thing that plays into a possible college level opportunity, and it just wasn't like it was when I graduated. I sound old, but there's so many things that kids can do these days to put themselves in a great position like that, and I think it's really cool. But
Yeah, I
um,
agree.
Yeah. So, you guys' games coming up. Technically, it's Wednesday at 6. What's today? Today's Tuesday the 5th. So you got
Hmm.
your game tomorrow, or today if you're listening now. And you guys are in South Carroll. The match starts at 6. So after the match tomorrow night, um, we'll say when you advance. Um, what's next? What's next up in the schedule?
So the next potential play date, I believe it's Friday and Saturday. Ours would be Saturday.
Okay.
And my understanding is the potential opponents are Fort Hill and Clear Spring. I
Okay.
think. I think.
Okay, and that'll depend on other games, I'm assuming as well. So yeah,
Yes.
cool, very awesome, an exciting time in Williamsport. Playoff time for volleyball. It's always a good time, always a great time. So the last thing I want to run through with you is obviously volleyball is a favorite sport of yours. Do you watch any volleyball outside of your front row view there at high school? Do you watch any on TV at the college level, pro level?
Yeah, sometimes, I mean, if it's on, I will kind of pull up a game. I won't say I follow a specific volleyball team. It's just really what's good volleyball right now. I know there's a lot of movement with the, collegiate
Uh-huh.
landscape where athletes are leaving schools, coming from schools. So there's a lot to follow there, but I do watch when I can, just to try to pick up some commentary and some game strategies and such. Outside of that, it is Baltimore Ravens football.
Oh,
Okay.
there you go. All
Hmm.
right, I can respect that. I'm a Commanders fan, so we're both
Okay,
in good.
fair.
We're
Yeah.
both in good situations. I was a little upset about the game between the two a couple weeks ago. I thought it would go better
Uh,
for my team, but Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, man, they
uh,
are a combo. And honestly, I have them. I do have the Ravens going far in the playoffs. As for getting to the Super Bowl, it's going to be tough to get past the Chiefs.
mhm.
Um, I mean, the Chiefs just win, and they win in so many different ways now because they're not the same Chiefs as they were last year,
Yeah.
and they have so many injuries. But I really like Lamar Jackson. I really enjoy watching him play, and I've always been a Derrick Henry fan. And I
Hmm.
like who's the other Flowers? Yeah, I like Zay
Yes.
Flowers. Yeah, they have a very explosive offense. So it's a good time to be a Ravens fan. That's for sure. Have you ever been to a game?
I have, not recently, not since a few of those individuals have come onto the team, but
Yeah,
yeah, I just love watching them. I mean, I prefer the comfort of my home sometimes anyhow, but I
I
just
hear
love
you.
they're so dynamic. I'm like, yes, let's go. So yeah.
I'm definitely the type of person that really wants to go to the game, but then you get there and you're crowded around all the people, and you're like, man, I wish I was on my couch.
Yes, that's me,
Yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah. But you're like, all right, I'm here. I'm just gonna enjoy it. Let's get to
Hmm.
it.
Absolutely.
Well, cool, cool. So, a Baltimore Ravens fan. All right, I can
Yes.
deal with that. Did you hear that the flag football state championship game is going to be played there? Did you hear that?
Yes, we actually
Yeah.
have a dual sport athlete on our varsity roster who plays flag football for Boonsboro too. So we've been
Cool,
kind
cool.
of following her, her season over there, and they are really successful at Boonesboro this year too. So shout out to Boonesboro flag football.
Yeah, I talked to Chad a week or so ago,
Hmm.
and Chad's a really great guy, and he was talking about them going to the actual game, which I think was last weekend.
Yes,
Did your player, the dual sport athlete, did she get to go to the stadium?
she did not. So she's a
Okay.
sophomore. They ended up taking
Oh,
a,
okay.
a, a group of seniors to do the relay situation,
Yeah,
but yeah, they did a really good job. So
yeah.
we're cheering them on.
Understandable. It makes
Yeah.
sense that the seniors will go. Yeah, but yeah, they're undefeated, right? I think.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah. That's really cool. Well, we might have multiple championships at Boonsboro this year. We'll have to wait and
We
see,
hope
right?
so.
Yeah. Well, Shelby, thanks for sitting down and talking with us today. Good luck on your game against South Carroll. Um, and the match starts at 6. Do you guys have a pretty good following that comes along with you, fan wise?
We have the best program of parents and fans. They have already made plans. They're feeding us. They're coming in droves. Like
Wow,
they are awesome. So
that's
we should have pretty good support.
that's awesome. How far is it, South Carroll? How much of a drive is it? I can't
It's about an
remember.
hour. It's
Oh,
not
that's not too
terrible.
bad. That's
Yep.
not too bad. So if you want to come out to the game, it is in South Carroll. It starts at 6. Maybe you can hitch a ride with the Boonsboro parents.
Yeah.
Good luck to you. Good luck to you and your Warriors. I know you guys will do great.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate it. Thank you for the coverage.
Of course, of course. Have a good one.
If you'd like to be featured on the Coach's Corner with Andy, email coach at 921thegoat.com.